So before I show you this workflow, I kind of want to stress this. This is a very destructive workflow. So destructive. Okay? Whenever you're taking a raster image and turning it back into vector, you have very little control over the actual illustration back in Illustrator. So I saved this as a PSD. And I'll kind of show you a couple things why that is. It's good in a pinch, and it's good for some kind of color separation, but there's still a lot of repair to do. So here in Illustrator, what I want to do is open that. And notice it says open untitled recent image. I'm just going to open this. That way you can show that I'm opening it from my hard drive. I'm going to choose flatten layers into a single object. And here it is. Now what I want to do here is zoom in on something that has hard edges. Maybe like this one right here. And go into live trace options. Again, don't forget to click the box or click the actual shape first using the black arrow, or it won't work. First thing I want to do is ignore white. Hit preview. Now go to maybe color. So I'm going to go to maybe a 6 color. Nice. And now I got all my information, my highlight information I need. If I wanted to blur this, let's say I wanted to blur the shape out. Only thing bad about blur is it will ruin detail. So if I blur, let's say, a little bit too high, and look at this one right here, all of a sudden you see an overcast that's appearing. So be careful with the blur. It's a very powerful tool and very useful, but you know, be careful of the overcast that appears. In fact, I'm going to choose 0 blur for this. I want a hard edge angle on it. For the rest of this stuff, I'm going to save for later lessons because I don't want to get too wrapped up in the live trace command. Now, let's look at the rules that I kind of stated before. If I have a dark shadow sitting on an object, does this necessarily need to be a knockout? Okay, first, to see this, I will have to take and expand this object. So I hit expand up at the top, and then object ungroup it. Now I have my single object that I can highlight. Notice it is merged with the outline itself. Here, on the other hand, I have an object that's sitting on top of another object. Whoops. Let's see if I have my other Illustrator window open. Or did I close that? If I closed it, no big deal, but okay, this is my converted, non-converted image right here. And this is my converted image. This, if you look at it, I have a path that sits on red. So that makes a good print because, you know, that's a totally legit way of thinking. You know, you're printing an ink over another ink that's darker. If I went into a thing called separations preview, which is in here, sometimes I'll toggle these. Notice everything shows up. Also, when I go to overprint preview, I can choose this one object. I'm going to go back into here so I can see the real color. And I could choose to say, well, if black was gone, this is what it would look like. If I had that as spot color, let's say I make it a spot. I'll take and double click this and turn this into a spot color. And spot color should show up down here now. Okay, and those are the two right here. All this information shows up. It's very handy to have that in case I wanted to look at knockouts or whatever else. But here, however, no separations preview whatsoever. Why? Well, there's no color whatsoever either. Yeah. So what I'll have to do here is, I'll have to go in and manually probably put in some colors in my swatch menu. So I'll take this color and I'll move it over here. Bam, I got a color. This one. And then I'll highlight the next object like this one. Then go capture its color, put in the menu. And that's going to be my workflow. I'm going to go finding the three colors, first highlighting it with my white arrow, and then taking it and eyedropping it and dropping it over here. So that's another good thing about this one is the fact that you can do color separation pretty easy. So now I've weaned down, a potential, document that has many colors over to just 3 colors. So what we need to do now is kind of look at these shapes and how they relate. If I move them, it's just a red with a black sitting on top of it. And if I screw up on my print, let's say I have, now I can show you what this really looks like. If the printing press puts this color down first and then puts this color down on top of it, if this is just a micro of an inch off, this is what it's going to look like. So in the next video, I'm going to kind of show you how to regain your preview separations and, kind of look at repairing this. Would it be better to repair this or work in Vectorland where I don't have to repair anything? And I guess that you have to decide whether I really want to learn Illustrator or do I want to learn Photoshop. All right. So in the next video.